playing free. The flashes of Wimbledon coming our way, making good use of the things that we find, things that the everyday folk leave behind. Uncle Bulgaria, he can remember the times when he was, oh hello, boom, when he wasn't behind the time with his map of the world. Pick up papers, take 'em to Tobermory. Ah, lad. Pick up the papers and say, oh, that shouldn't be doing that. Why is that doing that? What's going on there? Pick up papers, take 'em to Tobermory. Take them to Tobermory. 2, 3, 4. Under my overcoat, dangling free. The flashes of Wimbledon coming our way. Making jolly good use of these things that we find. Things that the everyday folk, quite frankly, leave behind. Nurse, Uncle Bulgaria is touching himself again. Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome indeed. In fact, a very warm, wibbly wobbly, willy waving welcome to Friday Night Live. It is nothing less than a significant joy to be here with you, you wonderful bogs, Boaty's old geezers and gals, you stalwarts, you pillars of the community, you top of the range pufflings, you. I would love to track each and every one of you down and tickle you and squeeze you until you were slightly sick, burped a bit, and dribbled all down your blouse. Ah, right. I'm glad I got that out of the way. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And well, we're all going to be battening down the hatches, aren't we? It's going to be. It's well. I mean, I don't know what it's like with you. It's already pretty wild here, and obviously, it's going to get wilder as the storm begins to hit as we go into the wee small hours. So obviously, thoughts, prayers, and all love to anybody anywhere near the Welsh coastline or indeed in the area of the Bristol Channel. Stay safe, all of you. Don't travel unless you absolutely have to. It's a red warning, darlings. Take good heed of it. But that aside, over the next hour, we are going to wave away the week and we're going to welcome in the weekend. We're going to welcome in the weekend. We're going to welcome in the weekend. We're going to welcome in the Saturday. And on Sunday, we'll go to chapel and try not to pick our nose in our underwear. And yeah, normal rules apply today, darlings. We can chat about whatever you fancy. I would love to hear how your days have been. We all absolutely need to know what you've been eating. That's an absolute given. The fantastic food news is I'm back on staff curry tonight. I haven't had staff curry since since Monday night in the hotel. It's been low tide at Staff Curry Bay, and I'm delighted that I'm going to be putting that right tonight, my lovelies. There, yes, that is. Oh, that's it. It's a tremendous joy. Other than that, well, Sean's box is going to get a right old pounding. I can tell you that for nothing. The Hedgehog of Truth is on hand. Should you wish to ask a Hedgehog of Truth question, you all know the rules about that. The community portable electric telephone is available should you leave to wish a voice note. And somebody has sent me something, and I'm going to open it and find out what it is. It's quite light. I'm pretty sure it's not something I've ordered for myself. So that's going to be very exciting. But before any of that, I'm going to have some slurpage of my wine because, quite honestly, I've earned it. I've earned it tonight. Oh, yes. Yeah, there's going to be some slurpage of wine, and then I'm going to dive headfirst into your comments. And let me remind you that your comments are the meat and vegetables of this full English breakfast. Right, cheers, my lovelies, your very good health. Bottoms up yours, and I say this with contrition, get stuffed. You might need to excuse me for a moment. Oh, oh, bloody hell. Oh, was that good for you too? Oh, one of your better efforts, darling, if you don't mind my saying so. Oh, God. Have you been practicing with somebody else? That's a thing, isn't it? If you got into a new relationship with somebody and they were amazing in bed, would you just be grateful or would you be worried about just how they'd got that good? Interesting question. Anyway, first cab off the rank tonight was our friend Paulie Galtieri, who said, "Good evening, Boaty and everyone. I hope you've all had a good day." And that's very kind. Tracy P. Cardiff, "Good evening, all from windy Wales." Oh, it's going to get worse. Just had a red weather alert on both of my phones. Yeah, I mean, seriously, any of you people that are anywhere near there, please do take all the care in the world. It's, they're talking about winds with gusts of up to 90 miles an hour, threat to life all around. Be sensible. Be sensible. It's one day out of your life. Just stay put, stay safe. If you own a business, don't open it. Have the day off. Just, look after yourselves, really. And don't take any silly or unnecessary risks. For certain areas, it's going to be a bad one. Now, I don't think I'm going to be too badly affected. In fact, they're saying that there's a chance that tomorrow will be a little bit calm, as this area might be in the eye of the storm. So I don't think it's going to be dangerous here, but obviously, specifically where I am, it's always worse than anywhere around. And I can tell you that tonight was pretty wet and wild. It's blowing a hoolie out there, darlings. The rain's battering down. It's it's going to be a night to cuddle up under the blankets and just stay safe and warm. And I think tomorrow's going to be the same as well. I have planned just hunkering down in the cottage tomorrow until it's time to go to work. Quite honestly. Hello, Boaty, and all the lovely community, says the equally lovely Carol C. I've had a good day, thank you for asking. My night and tomorrow might be a different story. Oh, devices all charged, podcasts and films downloaded, candles at the ready. Well, yes, losing the old functions of the elastic trickery and whatever are always going to be a possibility. And on that subject, don't be surprised if the internet goes a bit skew-whiff tonight. It's mad out there. Lord Stiff Lip is Lord Stiff Upper Lip is with us and says, "Yo yo, boatster." Charlie says you should always tell your mummy before you go off somewhere, and that is good advice. Matron is here of the YouTube channel The Greenwood. Evening all. Unusually for me, I have a bit of a headache, so I might be mainly lurking tonight. Oh, Matron, bless you. I hope it gets better very soon. Peter P is with us and says, "Good evening, Honourable Boaty and Box, and a very good evening to you." Mark Passad is with us, the lovely Mark. Oh, that's a pleasure. Good evening, Boaty, and good evening, chat, and good evening to you. Then there are just greetings going left, right, and centre. Oh, Simone Nyman Simone Nyman, a name that's new to me, says, hello all, new to the channel. Well, a very warm welcome. A very warm welcome indeed. Welcome to the Boaties World community, and welcome you are. It's very kind of you to find us and join us. Oh, Pocahontas 100. Haven't seen you for a few days. Good evening, Boaty, and everyone in chat. Hope you are all well. That's kind. Jimmy Quinn, the lovely Jimmy Quinn, is in our midst, and that makes us all very happy indeed. Although he won't like us saying that, because as he reminds us, he's private and he doesn't need anything from anybody, and he doesn't want us telling him that we think the world of him, and he doesn't want any of that nonsense. Bugger off with all that crap. Not interested. Don't need it. You're getting it anyway, Jimmy. Skick is here and says, would you say overall you're happy with yourself, Boaty, or Boat? A question I ask myself. Oh, no, that's an interesting question, Skick. A very interesting question. But I would ask you to narrow that down a bit. In what sense do you mean happy with myself? Just be a little bit more specific, because I could take that in a number of ways. I mean, am I happy with my life thus far? Am I happy with the situation that I'm in? Am I happy with the person that I am at this point in time? I could go in different directions with that. So if you could just narrow it down a little bit so I know exactly what you're asking, I will gladly think about it and answer you. Steve McDonald is with us and says, good evening, Boaty, and good evening, everyone, and a jolly good evening to you. Simone says, hello, Boaty, and hello to you. Thank you again for being here. Family in Cardiff, Penarth, says Mark, so fingers crossed for them. Absolutely. All of our community fingers are crossed for everybody who needs them to be crossed. Did Sean buy that box? He did indeed. He did indeed. That box was indeed a gift from the lovely Sean. Cheers, one and all, says Mark. Cheers, Pip Pip, says Paulie. The flowers are looking beautiful tonight, says Carol Seeds. They are, aren't they? Aren't they looking nice? I'm delighted that they're a nice flower, those. I forget what they're called. Aspie, I don't know, I can't remember. Is the storm going to hit London, asked Simone? Well, I'm not sure. Vivian is with us, Vivian Bulverheith. Hi, Sexboat. Hello. I've had terrible wind today. Think I ate dear God, think I ate too many boiled eggs. God above. My knickers have taken more of a pounding than the West Coast, and I dread to think what my Bristol Channel looks like. Thoughts and prayers to your Bristol Channel, Vivian. Oh, God. Oh, that's tickled me. That has tickled me. We've got our first voice note of the evening, darling. So I'll go off and have a little bit more of a giggle over that. And we can listen to the dulcet tones of the one and only Mr. Stephen Paddy from Port Sunlight on the Wirral. The Leisure Peninsula. Oh.
Good evening, Reverend. How are you today, sir? And how has work been? And what have you had for your dinner and that, sir? I myself just took it easy today. I had for my dinner, sir. I just had a chip butty, followed by this evening meal. I just had drumstick, chips, and peas. Followed by a posh coffee, sir. And I've just been watching the Money Heist on Netflix. Seems a good little TV program. Anyway, I look forward to tuning and watch this live, sir. I'll sit back and relax, and could everybody else sit back and relax? Thank you very much. And also, we might hear the fridge tonight and play Ringer's fridge. Thank you. And they were amazing. Yes, I hope everybody's fine, and if you're not, just sit back and relax. Hope the matron's fine, and also Emma, family.
that it? There we are. Well, to answer your questions, Mr. Parry, work was okay. Work was fine. Okay, good Friday night. Tomorrow night, we're going to have problems. Tomorrow night is going to be the first truly mad service of the Christmas period. Basically, we are overbooked. I tell people time and time again, check the bookings before you accept a booking. And people don't, they just accept them willy-nilly. So sat down to do a table plan tonight for tomorrow night. We're overbooked. We are overbooked. So that's it's a little bit annoying that people don't. But I mean, what I really need to do is to have a proper table plan, either on the computer or just in the reservations diary, so that when a booking is taken, I think we're going to have to start allotting the table to the booking immediately, and then do a day, excuse me, and then do a daily totting up of the tables so we can see which tables we've got free to play with at which times, and then we can make an assessment of whether we can accept a booking or not. The overall number for tomorrow night is okay, but there too many are coming at the same time. There are too many awkward numbers. Now, we're a 50-seater restaurant. We're not a big restaurant. So when you get, it's like we've got 3 bookings of 5 in the same time slot. And guess what? We haven't got any tables for 5. So a booking of 5 means they've got to have a table for 6. And that means that so multiply that by 3, and we're already 3 down on our capacity. And we've been doing all sorts of shenanigans tonight, trying to figure out. It's like bloody Tetris, trying to figure out a configuration for the tables. But so it's going to be a little bit of a gamble, really. Invariably, the bookings are never as they are. You get a booking for 16, 14 will turn up. You get a booking for 10, 8 will turn up, etc., etc. So kind of counting on that a little bit tomorrow night, but it'll be grand. Got a contingency plan or 2 in place, but it's nearer the knuckle than I'm comfortable with it being, and I need to get something absolutely 100% in place so that a proper assessment is made of the capacity before the booking is accepted. Either that, or every night I need to get into the habit of just scanning the bookings myself and doing a rapid assessment of, are we okay at the moment? And if we're not okay, then I can just get onto a customer straight away, within 12 hours of them booking, and say, look, I know that we accepted your booking, but blah, 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 blah. Can I ask you to come in a little bit earlier? Can I ask you to come in a little bit later? That sort of thing. Or if it's going to be bringing us a bit near to the knuckle, then I can add a big old note at the head of that page of the reservation thing, say, no more bookings between, say, 7 and 8:30. Bookings only to be taken. The kind of thing. If it's there staring them in the face, then they'll react to it. But they're not proactively going through the existing bookings. They're just adding the new one and assuming it'll be okay. And you can't do that during the Christmas period. So it's probably my fault. I probably should have been more on top of it. But hey ho, there we are. Splendid. Right. Let's get back to it. Hi everyone, says Vivian. Charming, says Paulie. Food news. Here we go. Carol C says, let me just check. We haven't got any more. No, we haven't. Right, jolly good. Carol C's dinner tonight was homemade salmon fish cakes, salad, homemade crisps. Homemade crisps? That's intriguing. With the balsamic oil, olive, and chili dressing. Restaurant busy? Asked Carol C. Moderately busy. Builders disappeared. Buggered off for the weekend again. They did a 2-day week, if that. I don't know if they've actually done any work today. What I can tell you is that not a single thing has gone into that skip. The skip is still sitting there empty, taking up one of our parking spaces. And there's 2 massive piles of rubble taking up another 2 of our parking spaces, and Ram has had it up to here. He's had it up to here. He's just losing the plot now. Ram is literally on the verge of walking out. He's literally on the verge of walking out, and Ram is a very good chef, and he has a queue of people that would gladly partner with him on the basis that he would be the head chef. And he's a lovely chap, and he's a very loyal chap, but he's just had enough of the bollocks. He really has had enough of it. And of course, there's no benefit to him. All he knows is that his restaurant is looking like shit because they're causing damage and they're not putting it right. He's got his 3 car parking spaces down in his yard, and his yard is looking like shit. And there's no benefit to him because he's not involved in upstairs. So it's all just downside for him, and he's had enough of it. Vishnu's never around. It's the Nepali mantra. It's what can I do? That's the answer to everything. What can I do? What can I do? So he gets onto Bish and shouts at Bish, and Bish shouts back at him, what can I do? What can I do? And he will occasionally shout at the landlord, and the landlord will shout, what can I do? What can I do? It's the builders. And everybody is just, what can I do? And it's incredibly frustrating I know I keep banging on about this, but I can't tell you how frustrating it is, because nobody's got enough of a pair of balls to just bring some pressure to bear where it needs to be brought. I understand that people have their frailties. I understand that people don't enjoy confrontation or fear it or whatever. But I'm around. Just let me deal with it. Just say, right, we're not dealing with this anymore. He's dealing with it. Deal with him. And I will go in and read the fucking riot act to the landlord. And if necessary, I'll read the riot act to the builders. And I will use legal routes to do it as well. That's all they've got to do. Just give me the authority to, and I'll do it. And if they bugger us about, then I will pull us out of that. And we'll just buy a decent bloody premises, operate as a dark kitchen in an industrial unit while the premises are being prepared, and let's set ourselves up for the future. But oh God, where we are at the moment, dear me. Oh, hello, we've got another voice note. Jolly good. We love voice notes, don't we?
Hello again, Boaty.
Hello.
Don't forget, a pound your box if you just found Priscilla Presley sat at your dinner table when you came home from work with all the Momo, but she won't let you have any.
This is my new favourite feature. I love this feature. Keep that up, Simone, because this is brilliant. I look forward to these. How do you think of that? Priscilla Presley sitting at my dining table when I come home from work. She's nicked all the Momo and she won't even share them. I love that idea. But I will pound the box, Simone. 1 box, darlings, courtesy of the lovely Sean. £1, courtesy of His Majesty King Charles and the Royal Mint. And 3 2, 1. In it pops. And that is another pound towards the, can I get away with this? The community January birthday celebration, because that's what it is, darlings. We are going to celebrate all of the community birthdays in January. And how we're going to celebrate it? Well, I'm going to go and stay in a hotel in Llandudno, but you're all welcome to join me. So it's not a selfish thing. It's not a my birthday thing. It's a community thing. That's how I'm going to sell this to you. It's very definitely a community thing. A January community birthday celebration. I just might be there without many people around me. Seriously, you are very welcome to join me. If you can make yourselves free on Monday the 13th of January, or Tuesday the 14th of January, then you could come for dinner and drinks, or just drinks, in Llandudno on Monday the 13th, the evening. If you were free for an overnight, come and have a night in the hotel. It's the Grand Hotel in Llandudno. Or if you were free on the 14th, then you could come and join for a birthday lunch. You would all be very, very welcome indeed. There might even be a rather special guest that you could also meet. So there you go. Think about that. In today's video, says Peter P, Caroline was all wonky and talking about knobs and shafts. Was she indeed? Well, there you are. Boaty, remember, don't run or fly a kite next to an electricity pylon. I'll remember that. Buddy and Non joins us and says good evening up. And Jimmy F500 is with us as well. Hello, and hello to all the bugs. And hello to Simone Nyman. Have you heard of the initiation you must do as you're new here? Has Mr. Paddy been inside before, calling everyone sir, says Paulie Galtieri? I said, do you know what I think that is? I think that's a thing that my friend Joseph started, Mr. Joseph Lloyd of the Lloyd Vehicle Consulting Channel. If anyone is a viewer of his, then I think they get into the habit of calling people sir. But I think that we must give Joseph the kudos for beginning that. Stay in tomorrow and watch the F1 qualifying, says Carol. And thank you for the link, Carol. And I will indeed do exactly that, except I won't watch it. I will listen to it, because I do F1 on the radio, darlings, because I don't have any of those televisual things that you need to have to watch the F1, whatever it's on there. Is it on Sky, or I don't know what it's on. I haven't got it anyway. So what I do is I listen to it live on BBC Radio, and that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Skick says, like I said, overall, going back to his earlier question about am I happy with myself? Overall, where you are now in life and your happiness within yourself. Yeah, pretty happy. Pretty happy. I'm happy with the person that I've become. I think that I've learned some lessons over the course of my life, as we probably all do. And I think I'm a better human being now than I've ever been before. And I think that's a good thing. Am I happy with where I am in life? Yeah, I am actually. I am. Oddly enough, this is a very apposite question. given what tomorrow's video is, because some of this is going to be covered in tomorrow's video. I am generally very happy with where I am in life. There's only one little, maybe two little pieces of the jigsaw missing, maybe three. But generally speaking, yeah. 10 years ago, well, or maybe 20 years ago, if you'd described my life to me and asked me if I could be happy with it, I would have said absolutely no. But I was a very different person then. I was driven by different things, and I'm glad I'm no longer that person. And yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Life is very good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. There are a couple of bits of icing on the cake that I would like. Things like, having enough income to actually pay my bills. That would be a blessing. Having Wales in my life, my home in my life on a slightly more regular basis, that would be a blessing. And yeah, actually, after however many years it is now of being on my own, I would quite like a special chum in my life. And it's kind of taken me a while to get to that place. I'm not like a lot of men where if they're single, then they're pulling their hair out and can't cope with the idea of being single, and they need a relationship and blah blah blah. I kind of engineered this situation, and I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. I've grown into my own life after a lifetime of compromising to suit other people and putting other people before me. I've had 3 really very selfish years, and I've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed them very much, and certainly in the last year, I've made the most of them, and it's been really good for me. In a way, I've kind of discovered who I really am. When it's just me, I've discovered who I am, and who I am as myself rather than who I am as a reflection of other people. And that's been good, but it has reached the point now where, I just think that, it would be nice to have a special chum. Not necessarily, not necessarily somebody to move in or get married again or anything like that. Just a special chum who was there and you did stuff together when it suited you, lunches, days out, frolicking through fields of tulips and meadows of hay and that sort of thing. Yeah, that would be kind of nice. But generally speaking, yeah, to answer your question, Skik, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Any live stream cooking over the weekend? Asked Carol C. I will do a Sunday lunch live. That is the plan. That is the plan. I'm not planning to do a live tomorrow. I'm planning to just do a video. But yeah, I will risk another Sunday lunch live. Quite bravely, given what happened last bleeding Sunday lunch. But, forewarned is forearmed, and we will deal with things very differently should a similar thing happen again. But yeah, the plan is to do a Sunday lunch live cook along. It won't be the same again. I'm going to do a mini joint of beef, which I'm planning to put into a horseradish butter crust. Oh, that reminds me. Let me check the state of my horseradish. So I know I'm running a bit low. Oh yeah, very low in fact. Okay, scrub that. Maybe a mustard butter crust, or maybe I'll just roast it without any kind of crust at all. We'll just do a traditional roast beef. But yeah, that is the plan. I enjoyed the Sunday lunch lives, and although last week's turned out to be pretty disastrous, I will look forward to doing it again. You must be questioned thoroughly by Mr. Stephen Paddy of the Whittle, says Jimmy 500. I'm up for it. I've agreed that Skit can interview me. I would gladly let anybody else do it. So if any of you have got YouTube channels or something and you want to interview me on your channel for a bit of crap content, then yeah, I'm totally up for it. Good evening all, says Bad Books. It's a yellow warning for here on the Whittle, says Paulie. Oh, Stu is here. Hey, I made it. Lord of mercy. Hello, Stu. And he says, hi all. Air fryers make good homemade crisps, says Paulie Galtieri. Not something I've ever thought of, I must admit. Yank Tang says, what kind of grub you got in here then? Well, keep listening. You will find out. We've already had a bit of talk. Good to be here, says Josh, and lovely to have you back. Evening, folks, says Yank Tanks. Lovely to have you here too. Hello. We have another Simone, says Simone. Cool. We could make it confusing though. That's Hooked on Classics, Simone saying that. Buddy Anon says, I hear that Sean is saving up to buy a car next year and is looking for advice. I hope you'll help him. I'm not sure if a modest traveller will be big enough for him and his bags of compost. Well, yeah, Sean and I have been talking about that since we met, actually. The subject came up on the first day that we met in person, and we had a good old chat about it in the pub. And yeah, from that first day, we've said that might be a thing that we should do a video collab on. He wants a car, and he wants something classic, and he knows nothing about cars. Whereas I was a classic car dealer for the majority of my working life. So, you know, it makes sense that we would collab over that. So yeah, absolute. Of course, I will help him, and we'll make some content out of it, hopefully. And obviously, I've got all the connections to find him something suitable. Not sure about the modest minor traveller, because he's not the most experienced driver on God's earth. But actually, no, I take that back. I suppose it doesn't matter. Actually, it might suit him that he's not an experienced. The thing with driving a classic is it's very different from driving a modern car. Now, when you jump into a modern car, you can drive it mindlessly. You don't need to worry about anything. You turn the key, you go. Many things are done for you. When you drive a classic, you can't drive it mindlessly. You have to be all over it. You have to understand how to be sympathetic towards it, how to drive it sympathetically, how it needs to be driven. You need to be aware of many more things than you do in a modern car. But actually, I mean, Sean has never owned a car. He's had cars as part of jobs, but he's never personally owned a car. So if the first car that he personally owned was a classic, then of course he would learn how to drive a classic, and it would be natural for him. But yeah, of course I'll help him. And as I say, something we've spoken about ourselves anyway. What is Momo? Oh, Peter and Peter P says Boaty will gladly explain. Momo, one of the, well, probably the national dish of Nepal, Himalayan dumplings, highly spiced, handmade, intricate, beautiful, totally unique to the Himalayan region, and normally served steamed with momo chutney, and they're just the best thing ever. Some people here in the live stream have eaten momo, thanks to me, and they will tell you just how wonderful they are. Would you like me to show you one? I can do that. So there you go. These are momo. Handmade little crescents of Nepalese joy. Quite complex to make and to make well, but they repay the effort. Traditionally served with, now this is frozen, momo chutney, tomato-based sesame, green chilies, hot and spicy, you know. Now in Nepal, most momo are buff momo, made with buffalo meat, but they can be vegetable, they can be vegan, and here in the UK, they tend to be either lamb or chicken, or a mix of the two, chicken and lamb. But they are just superb. And a little reminder that if anybody would like some momo in their life, then you can buy them from me. Handmade, complete with chutney. The only proviso is you wouldn't need to be able to pick them up either from here or the restaurant. But otherwise, yeah, you can buy them in bulk. They're frozen. You steam them from frozen. Other varieties of momo, well, momo jol is quite a popular thing where they are served in a hot and spicy soup. Or you can even have deep fried momo, although they're less common. Evening, says Dave Smith. Who the hell got Boaty on the subject of builders? Boaty, can you explain what momo are, please? I've done that. Oh, yeah, you will have invoked a Boaty momo lecture. Yeah, you did. You did. Matron say hello to people. Those builders are useless, says Paulie. We've had the same problem with our landlord hiring feckless relatives and cousins who aren't builders. They won't hire skilled British builders. They bloody would if I was dealing with it. Honestly, at this stage, then the landlord would have two or three options. And it might come to it where Bishnu just says, right, you deal with it. Because when I give him the ultimatum, it's well known now. Everybody knows that I'm talking about leaving at the end of the month. And that means that word will have got back to Bishnu. So no doubt we will have a meeting at some point. And it might come down to the thing that the thing that would make me stay is that I get to deal with and then the landlord, if that situation were to occur, then the landlord's going to have options and they're going to be quite limited. The one is that the builders fuck off. I bring my own building team in, and I know exactly the lads. I would use Julian and his crew. I know them. I trust them. Literally, I would trust them with my life. I've got a lot of history with those boys, and they would get the job done in 10 days maximum, and it would be done perfectly. So that would be one option. The landlord would have to foot the bill, and then he would have to have the argument with his builders, relatives, whatever the hell they are, about the money that he's paid them, and he'd have to be prepared to just swallow it and lose it. The other option would be that he has breached his duty of care in strict terms under contract law. So the other option would be that we would walk and sue his ass, and the only other option would be that we put something legal into place whereby he guaranteed that the entire building would be fit for purpose by such and such date, and there would be very severe penalty clauses were he not to meet those dates. Because seriously, we're in the pound seats here. My guys just don't realise it. We're in the pound seats. He won't rent that place to anybody else the way that it is. And we don't need it. We're not needy. As a company, as an organisation, we're richer than he is. We could buy a premises like that tomorrow and not notice that the money was missing. I say we, obviously I'm as poor as a church mouse, but the rest of them have got dough. So seriously, we're in the pound seats. And bear in mind that the landlord is not a landlord, he's not a businessman. We were talking about this tonight. The problems all started when Naz, bless him, passed away. When Naz was alive, and Naz was the landlord, owned property everywhere, there was never a problem. It was, things were sorted, and they were sorted properly, and they were sorted immediately. Since Naz died and his son inherited, his son's a kid. He's not a businessman. He hasn't got a clue. He can't deal with anything, really. He's out of his depth, and he doesn't need the grief, which again puts us in the pound seat. We should be calling the shots, not being screwed about by him. And if we need somebody to take him by the hand and say, well, look, this is an untenable situation. The situation that you are putting us in is untenable. Now, if you are in an untenable situation with your builders, with your subcontractors, then you need to deal with that. And if you don't know how to do it, I will show you. This is what you need to do. I'll do that for him. Don't want to fall out with the guy. But the current situation is no good for anybody. It's screwing up our business. It's screwing up our future business. It's screwing up the landlord's income. He's losing money hand over bleeding fist. So it needs sorting. And there's nobody in the mix that is going to sort it. At the moment, the whole dynamic is being led by a group of builders who are being paid £60,000 to do some work. And they've spent 6 months not doing it. And nobody's holding them to task. And somebody needs to put a pair of fucking trousers on. And I would gladly do it. I just need the empowerment to, not empowerment, authority. Just give me the authority. I'll sort it. I'll sort it in 48 hours. I guarantee you I'll sort it. Oh, anyway. These are getting elaborate, Simone says P2P. They're brilliant, aren't they? Absolutely brilliant. Pingu Concord is with us. You're up late, Pingu, but lovely to have you here. Send in Boaty, the bullshit bothering builders bollicker. Yeah, exactly. I'd sort the bastards. It's always the quiet ones that come out with the good ones, Re-HOC, says Jimmy F500. Hooked on classics, of course. Elaborate, extrapolate, says Stu. Can we all leave Boaty a Christmas Carol voice message, says Dave Smith. Paulie says, it's the sad reality they buy anything up cheap and refuse to maintain the properties to a good standard. Repete, s'il vous plaît. I can't reveal the potential special guest for my birthday. I can't tell you who she is. Or he. Could be a he. Good evening, everyone, says Nick. Rent lettings. I quite like coming up with scenarios, says Simone, and we enjoy hearing them. I always refer to him as Mr. Lloyd myself, says Paulie. Oh, well, there we are. Josh says I'm also pretty old-fashioned. Give me a knife and fork, says Dave Smith, and I'm a happy man. Apart from money boats, says Jimmy F500. Yeah, exactly. Oh, excuse me. Nick says the Grand Hotel at Llandudno, one of the pricier hotels, at 49 quid per night. Is that how much it is? Is that how much it is? The last time I looked, the room I wanted was at 139 quid. So if it's come down to 49 quid, I'll be a very happy man. There'd be some money left in the pot for drinkies then, because I know that there's more than 49 quid in Sean's box at the moment. Boaty deserves to treat himself on his birthday, says Paulie. Oh, bless you. Hopefully the birthday after, if I'm fortunate enough to reach it, I'll be back doing my proper birthday thing in Malta, or on my actual birthday itself, Gozo. More specifically, Schlendi Bay. More specifically, St. Patrick's Hotel. Table 4. Boaty, says Pingu, could you set up a dark kitchen with RAM to get back control of your working destiny? Yeah. Yeah, that's a dark kitchen is the obvious way to go. I see it, other people see it, but the people that I work with don't see it, right? There's Nepali restaurants springing up everywhere. And many of them, no offense, many of them in business terms are thick as two short planks. And they're so fucking thick that they think, right, two of my friends, members of the community, have got restaurants in this area. So I will open one there as well, because it's obviously a very good area. Thick as a brick, right? So what was one restaurant, now there are 3 restaurants trying to share the same customers, and everybody goes out of business. It's happening all the time. So they're thick. So you know where we are. We've got a restaurant in Chesterfield, Clay Cross. We've got one in Ripley. Move up to Sheffield, and there are Nepali restaurants everywhere in that area. Everywhere around Nottingham, around Derby, and there are more and more springing up. Go to Sheffield, 0, not one. Now, Sheffield is a big area. Now, it's so screamingly obvious to me. If you want to set up a restaurant, you're looking at you need to have about £100,000 in your pocket to buy the lease, furnish it, blah, 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 blah. Right? So maybe more, but absolute bare minimum, doing it on the bones of your ass, you're talking about 85 grand, right? You could set up a dark kitchen, 10 grand, easy, 10 grand. So you set up a dark kitchen in the southern edges of Sheffield, and you cover a massive area. And it's just, it's delivery only, and you run it out of an industrial unit that you just turn into a full-on working kitchen. And all you need is 2, maybe 3 chefs, a head chef, a tandoor chef, maybe a sous chef, And then you need a fleet of drivers, and you need one or maybe two people manning a telephone. Probably one would be enough, because most of it is done through apps these days, isn't it? Your Just Eat, your bloody Uber Eats, your whatever the one that we're with that I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting what it's called. And you would have you would have that whole market to yourself. You would be unique. You would be the absolute niche. And it's so obvious. And I've been telling them literally for years. And one of these days, someday somebody's going to do it, and it's not going to be us by the look of it. You would earn a fortune. It would be a massively successful business. Now, I proved this. I was working with these people when the pandemic hit. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I said, right, I called a meeting. We all sat down and I said, look, when things like this happen, there are always winners and there are always losers. Some people will turn to their advantage and they will flourish. Other people will just go out of business. I said, let's be the former rather than the latter. So we had no takeaway business at that point. We were a town centre restaurant. We relied on walk-in trade, some bookings. We were open very late at night. We were a traditional curry house, albeit a Nepali one. The pandemic kicked in and I went mental driving the takeaway business. And it worked. Other businesses, I can't claim total credit. Many other businesses did the same. Certainly in the major cities, they did. And it worked for them too. And it's changed the environment. So during the pandemic, when the restaurant was closed, this is a secret I'm telling you here. Our profits went up. Our turnover went down. Our profits went up. And that was still paying for a restaurant. We just weren't paying staff costs because we were running a takeaway only business. And the bottom line, and remember, you know, it's a cliche, but it's true. Turnover is vanity. The bottom line is sanity. And our bottom line improved. And that's doing it from a restaurant. Now, and since the pandemic, I promise you, the landscape has changed. We're no longer a late night restaurant. That's why I'm here doing a live stream. Before the pandemic, I would still be at work now. We would still be in the restaurant serving people, doing takeaways. All that changed with the pandemic. You know, now 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, finished. That's, you know, and that's the way it is. There's much more takeaway activity now, much more activity on the apps. It's changed. Town centres have died off a little bit more. Our town centre is nothing like it was before. And the landscape has just changed. And so a dark kitchen now in an area where you've got zero competition, your expenses are on their arse, entirely minimal. Your setup costs, your entrance to market costs, so minimal that it's unbelievable. And it's so screaming, with a business head on, it's so screamingly obvious. But I'm the only businessman in my group. Those guys, they're grafters. They're incredible grafters, but they haven't got business nous. They don't understand business. They've got no flair. They've got no sight. They know how to cook and they know how to work like donkeys, to be honest. They work incredibly hard, harder than I ever could. But no savvy. But, oh God, I'm going to do the Nepalese thing now. What can you do? What can you do? I've told them, I've proved it with during the pandemic, and don't want to know. So if I had the money, or if I could raise the money, I would do it myself. It wouldn't be easy because I would need a Nepali chef. I would only need one because the other two chefs, one or two chefs I would need, he could train them. Being a tandoor chef, piece of pudding, absolute piece of pudding. Really, really easy. But you need one chef in there who is a genuine Nepali chef. He could train other people, that would be easy enough. But to get one of those, so many restaurants bringing up, you'd have to pay them really well. You'd have to, that's the only way you'd get them would be by throwing money at them. So you'd have to, not a stupid amount of money, but you'd have to throw them £1,000 a week. And then you would get one. But that's all you need. You'd only need that one guy, and everything else you could create quite easily. Sunday Live says, give me a 500, preferably without trouble. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Stay away from them, Boaty. Snakes with tits. I guess we're talking about the ladies then. South Manchester says Stew, not far from the High Peaks. Has Mini Boaty and Mini Officer Crabtree been out with life-size Boaty and Officer Crabtree? Not yet. How are you supposed to edit out a troublemaker on a live stream, says Jimmy at 500? Strange YouTube rules. Well, yeah. Everything is expensive now, says Josh. For me, says Simone, driving a classic is more involved and tactile, and I would agree with that. I shall look forward to a collaboration video with you and Sean, says Buddy and on. It's about time we did another one. It's been ages, hasn't it? It's been ages. I miss driving my Volvo 240 GLE estate, says Paulie, but I'm really fancying another XJ40 again. But prices for a good one are climbing now. God, are there any good ones? Momo sounds good. Bet they look different, steamed up. A little different, not massively different. I've never been in an old car, says Peter P. I'd like to have a go. Josh says, if you haven't been in an old car, even a crap one, you haven't lived. Steve says, music makes me carry on. I've got depression. Oh, well, you're leaning against an open door with many of us. I'm nowhere near the red warning UK weather warning area, says Mark, but it's getting very blowy here in West Kent and East Sussex. Yeah. Never trust a builder wearing blusher, says Black Lines. Oh, dear. It's a bloody howler outside weather-wise, says Jimmy at 500, but poor bastards on the west coast that are getting red warnings, as they usually do, being on the Atlantic side. It's the flipping Yanks' fault again. Oh, dear. Oh, the F-bombs are okay. YouTube don't mind the F-bombs. YouTube get upset over the strangest things. They don't mind the F-bomb. They don't mind the C word. They don't mind me reading out 40 minutes of pure, disgusting pornography. It's other things that they get all politically correct about. I've got Sheffield butter knives, says Paulie, Brilliant quality from a bygone age. A virtual kitchen sounds like a great idea, says Buddy and on. Glittering Sheffield, the local radio host, he was awesome. Mark has got a Hedgehog of Truth question. Will you and Captain Mustard be doing more videos together in the new year? Well, I certainly hope so, Mark. I certainly hope so. At the moment, the weather is pants and the yard is a really horrendous place to be. So I haven't been there for a couple of weeks and there's no escape from it. There's nowhere that you can go and have a bit of heating. There's nowhere you can go and sit down and have a cup of coffee or something to eat. It's just a hard place of work. And to be honest, I don't really fancy a day of that hardship on my day off. So, but you know, it's like I said, the roads work two ways. And Mustard, I'd love Mustard to come down here on a Monday. Maybe him and Steve will come down and record Big in the 90s on the thing. But I mean, as soon as the weather starts getting better, I'll be back at the yard again. But honestly, if you've ever visited the yard, then in winter when it's freezing cold and wet and rainy, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. The last couple of winters we had the caravan, so at least there was some respite and we could hang out in there for a couple of hours and get warm and have something to eat. But there isn't that now. And as much as I love Mustard to bits and we have great fun together, it's a miserable bloody day in winter. It really is. It's horrific. And there are alternatives that seem a little bit more favourable. But as soon as the worst of the weather goes away, I'll be back. Of course I will. I love my yard days with Mustard. They're the best days. Just not in snow. Slap a naan on a stove, says to you. How hard can it be? It's a bit harder than that because you've got to know how to make the naan dough. And that is bloody hard work. If you've ever done it, it is seriously hard work. And then you've got to be able to shape it. You've got to know how to use a tandoor. And you've got to be able to work under extreme heat and in extreme pressure. God, look at the time. Time is marching away with us. I've been rattling on, and dear me. These lives were good for me. Thanks for the replies. Oh, you're so welcome. Simone's off to sleep. Good night. We all should be. Look at the time. My previous XJ40s were fantastic cars, very reliable. Why don't you like them, Boaty? Asked Paulie. Because I don't like the styling. I think the styling is ham-fisted and really quite ugly. The car that preceded them was beautiful, and the car that succeeded them was beautiful. But the XJ40 was ugly. It was blocky, it was badly designed. They were incredibly badly built. They were unreliable. They rotted like bloody hell. And they weren't Jaguar's finest hour. They didn't have the grace, space, and pace. As I say, the cars that came before and the cars that came after were stunning, absolutely stunning. So we're talking about the XJ6 and the whatever it was called. Is it the 30 XJ308 that came after? I can't exactly remember, but Jaguar made a mistake with the XJ40 and they realized it, because if you look at the model lineage, then look at the model that came after the XJ40 and it looks like the model that came before it, because that's what people liked, because it was beautiful. The XJ40 was just bloody ugly and it was a bit of a crap car. Yeah, I'm sure if you get a good one, then it's lovely. I mean, a Jaguar at the end of the day, if you had the, but they just they weren't what came before, and they weren't what came afterwards. So I just wouldn't go there. I've been there, I've had them. Oh, and they did that 2.9, the most wonderful, woefully underpowered car in the history of the world. Oh, parcel doings, I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. Great first night chat, Stacey Main. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And do come, please do join us again. Right, let's quickly open this. Sorry, I completely forgot about this. I've got no idea what this is. Oh, it's it's a Christmassy thing. Let's have a look at the label. Oh, how lovely. Hello, Boaty. Hope it fits snug. Hello, Boaty. Hope it fits snug. Kindest of regards from Pocahontas 100. Oh, gosh. Thank you so much. Oh. Now, do I open this now or do I wait until Christmas Day? Is it a Christmas thing? I don't know if I'm supposed to open this now or not. What do you reckon? Somebody tell me. Open it or save it? Oh, the underpinnings might have been all right, poorly, but the body was just so ugly. Is Pocahontas still with us? I'm not sure. Save it, says Matron. Well, I'll tell you what, I will save it for now, at least. Oh no, Pocahontas is here and says open. So there we are. There we are. I was going to say we'll wait until Pocahontas is around. And right, well, let's undo this bow. Oh, this is exciting, isn't it? Oh. Oh. Now then. Okay, darlings. Just when things were, these look posh. Oh, they're the right size. God, they were bloody expensive. How do I open them? Could we be looking at my new sex pants? How do I open them? Oh, here we are. There we are. Oh, and then they've got a thingy, a pressy doobry. Oh. Oh, I like those. Oh, I do like those. Oh, these look fabulous. Right, those are the exact shape that I like. And they look quite big. I'm incredibly slender. But it says now the size is right for the waist size. Yep, here we are. How cool are those? I'm not putting them on. I'm not putting them on tonight on camera. It's too late, but they might appear in a video. I love those. Oh, they smell clean. Oh, those look lovely. Whoa. Well, I've just gone up in the world. There's a price on these. These are not cheap. I can't wait to try these. What do you reckon? Those are nice. Jack and Jones. Well, I tell you what, darlings, I am very, very Oh, thank you. You're very welcome, Boaty. There's another on the way for your fridge from Ireland. Oh, fridge magnet. No, I'm not going to try them on for the ladies, Andrew. Not now. I will do at some point. No, they're not an open crotch to you. I'm not trying them on for an edit, Peter P. I love those. Those are the shapes that I have, but I think that they're probably substantially better quality than I'm used to. I am so chuffed with these. Thank you so much. Thank you. Merch idea, says Pingu. Red sex pants with you don't get this on opener on the front. I'm genuinely really excited to try these. I've had so much trouble in the underpant region, darlings, with, as you know, because I'm not shy in talking about it. And if I could find a pair of, or a style or a brand of underwear that obviated all of that problem with plums escaping left, right, and centre and little tinkles, making their way to freedom, where I will get onto the merch store. I know I need to do that. Right, update on other things. There's a video coming out tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere on Monday, or if I go anywhere, it's going to be quite local. I'm not going away on an overnight. I'm hoping to go back to Carnarvon a week on Monday. I am, so yeah, not this Monday coming, the week after. I'm hoping to do that in Yvette Carte Blanche. I really want to do it. I'm going to try everything to make that happen. This Monday, I don't think anything's happening. If anything happens, it's going to be local. So on Monday, I will do some work in the merch store. Show us your plums. I'm really, really excited. I'm really grateful, and I'm really excited to see. I'm sure I've seen some adverts for these on maybe on Facebook or on YouTube or something, and they're supposed to be really good, aren't they? So I'm dead excited to try them. And Pocahontas, thank you so much. I'm really, really grateful. You could be my undercarriage savior, and you would definitely go down in history on that basis. God, it's almost 1 o'clock. Come on, let's all head to bed, darlings. It is that time. It is that time. So, a massive thank you to Pocahontas. Thank you to Mr. Paddy for his voice note. Thank you for Simone with her fantastic box pounding feature. A warm welcome to those that have joined us for the first time, and we really hope to see you again. And thank you to each and every one of you for just making my day and night that little bit better by giving me the incredible compliment of your time and your company. I am so grateful to each and every one of you. You make my life better every single day, and that's quite a thing. So, let me just wish you all a safe and peaceful night, and a safe, dry, and warm day ahead. Please stay safe in the storm, especially those of you in the worst affected areas. And take really good care of yourselves, and take care of those that you love and who love you. And the candle will be relit tomorrow night, same time, same place, 11:30, Saturday Night Live. Please join me if you can. And in the meantime, much luck from me. And hopefully I'll catch up with you tomorrow. And on that note, pachoo, and indeed, a Jack and Jones, bosh.